And welcome to the game. I'm Jackson and I'm commentating. Welcome. So we're going to see Ryan Shields against Mick running for Bludger here. Let's see what happens. So Ryan's easily going to pick up the ball. Merc are going to get control and quaffle. And then Ryan's going to sub off real quick. You'll see Kieran talk about that for a second. Classic. So now Merc are going to try a 1.5. They're going to move the ball left. However, their beaters are also going to move left. So they're not necessarily doing themselves too many favors. So now's ESU's chances to pop up. Jen has just stopped, sort of slowed down the wing, and Eden's intercepted the shot. Good defense from ESU so far. So we're going to see Mick go deep, and Kieran's going to work with this for a second. Kieran's made a beat. They've got control back in court. However, Kieran's just gotten beat. Mick's had a chance to throw back, didn't take it. That's all right. Alex has made a drive in, didn't get a goal. Created an opportunity for the opposition, but they got beat somehow. As this game goes on, we realize that both teams have a lot of just small little issues that new players have, but that's okay. So Kieran's going to try without the ball to go for bludgers this time. Mick's protecting Quaffle. Alex has made a shot. Good for him. This is also created because Kieran was able to push the beaters away from the Quaffle, which was good play. So we're also going to see Merc do that 1.5 again. So Mick is correct to come out here and scare Quaffle a bit, but she rushes herself. See, she misses the beat. She creates a no beater situation, which is what the 1.5 is there for. Creates a goal for the opposition. So this is a careful moment where our beaters need to learn how to defend against 1.5. You want to have your spare beater, the one who doesn't have a bludger, defending you while you're watching Quaffle. We kind of saw that, but Mick slightly rushed herself, which is fine. It's just a small mistake. And then Kieran just magically gets control back and subs off. Good stuff, Kieran. So for this play, we want to be watching the wings because that's kind of where the action is on offense. See, Jen is free, but so is Tony. Jen, yes, was free, but she didn't do herself too many favors by just standing there. Neither did Tony. Something that they can work on is, yes, they were in the right place at the right time, but they needed to be moving whilst also asking for the ball. So we're going to see Eden getting calls from the ref because he was pulling on the jerseys. So a common issue that ESU have this game is that they're ready to do the tackling, but we're not switching our hands at the right time. As a result, we're getting a lot of fouls, like behind contact and jersey grabs. An easy fix to this problem is we just need to work on our tackling by switching the hands. That's all right. So before this happened, we saw that Mick was able to get goes to the control play, but she does this at the wrong time. So she saw that the opposition was vulnerable and goes to get control. However, this was because the opposition was making a drive on hoops. When the opposition is driving on hoops, beater's number one priority is Quaffle. So as soon as that Quaffle changes over, your priority switches from control to Quaffle. So just something that beaters need to remind themselves of when they play. So now, as the game goes on, we'll see that from ESU and both sides that beater and chaser communication can be a huge detriment to the team, in that if there isn't any communication, then problems arise. Like, for example, our chasers without control are going to run in and as a result lose control. See, they didn't go in with their beaters without a game plan. They kind of just rushed themselves against two bludgers in a full team, and as a result, everything they tried kind of gets ruined. So next time, ESU, we want to slow ourselves down a little bit and give our beaters time to make a play. We don't necessarily need to be rushing ourselves, especially when we don't have control and it's this early in the game. But keep in mind there was a lot of really good ball movement earlier. Almost everyone touched the ball, which was really good to see for new players. Good call from Alex. Beat before. Another reason why we want to communicate with our beaters, so stuff like this doesn't happen. So Kelsey's able to slow down the opposition's offense, which is great. Now Merc are going to do the 1.5 again, and in this moment we're going to see exactly not what to do. Watch Nick. So he's gone off screen and he's left his bludger undefended. Now Kelsey is going to be momentarily distracted. So Nick luckily wises up and Kelsey's able to get rid of him. But remember, guys... get rid of them. Remember, guys, when it comes to 1.5, the typical play is if you don't have a bludger, you defend your bludger. So, let's see Nick learn from his mistake again. So he's going to square off with Maria, see what happens. Because Kelsey is free, she's able to stop the other beater. Unfortunately, the chasers run into two... beaters, which isn't great. So another reason why 1.5 works really well against drive-heavy teams is that it lulls the chasers into doing drives that don't work if they have two bludgers on hoops. So very good strategy from Merc early on, and ESU. Let's try and calm ourselves down a little bit. Know when and when not to do a good drive. That was not the best time to do a drive. Also, when we're doing a drive, your partners are just as important as yourself. Otherwise, you're essentially just giving the ball away. So remember, when you do a drive, find a partner and use that partner. So, defense created a no-budget situation, but we're going to rush ourselves, unfortunately, and lose ball. So, drives are great, but we don't want to rush ourselves. The key to speed is not to hurry, as a wise man once said. So this is really good from Merc, knowing when to press because they have control and they communicated that with their chasers. But we also get to see really good pressure, heads under pressure from ESU. They're able to keep the ball alive on their side without going past the line with only like 2 chasers. So good stuff. But remember, guys, watch the halfway line. That was a really... Eden was in a good place to make a shot. That keeper wasn't in the best position to make the shot, and they'd let Eden get really close. But it just was a bit of a unsuccessful shot. But I commend it for good timing on that shot. So here we're going to see a play from the Merc team where the ball carrier is going to use this far wing. They're going to try and get an alley. So this is a good play when there's a little bit of chaos, but at the start of a play as you're approaching, it's not the best because the defense really are on their game. So yes, that was a good play, but just really at the wrong time. So again, we're going to see ESU rushing without talking to their beaters. So this is not the right time to rush. Our beaters don't have control, and we obviously haven't talked to one another. We're essentially just giving the ball away. So when things get a bit dire, shots aren't necessarily the worst idea. If you do a shot, even if it's a Hail Mary type of shot and you have a little chance of scoring, at the very least you've slowed down the opposition. That's what Harrison's done by making a shot when all the rest of his team are out. So that's also another good opportunity to use a shot. Yeah. So good to see that from Harrison. It would be nice if So here we're going to see a yellow card for a player charging another player who doesn't have the ball. So I imagine this was a wing from Merc, sort of like running into a mark, Jason, on ESU. So yeah, I wouldn't stress too much. This is just a beginner problem, I imagine. So here again, we're going to see another example as to why you want to change hands when you do a tackle and the consequences when you don't do it. So ESU get control, however... so this wasn't the wrong hands. So Eden was right to go for that tackle, but I suppose the opposition's back was turned, so it could be seen as behind contact. So that was, if he did it on purpose, smart from the Merc player, and good speed from Eden. Just next time, Eden, make sure that you do that tackle when the opposition is facing you. Otherwise, you'll get a card, like in this instant. So this is Eden's second yellow, resulting in a red and ejection from play, unfortunately. But this is early days, so, that's fine. We all get the occasional yellow when we start out. So, for this play, you can see Kieran is making more of an effort to talk with the chasers. And we want to be watching the wing chasers in this instance. Really good ball movement in this next play. So Harrison's made a really good cut, and he's caught a bounce pass, congrats. But he's made a shot on a hoop that wasn't the best. From I don't know what it is from here, but he could have made a shot on a hoop a lot closer. That was almost a goal. Shame. So I believe Matt's gonna just run it in. Yep. Good for him. So this is good stuff from the beaters on ESU as well, distracting the opposition on defense enough for Matt to just walk that ball in. So good teamwork. Many good things come when people talk. For instance, Kieran and Matt talking at the beginning of the play. So you notice when Kieran is on, the pace changes a lot for ESU. A lot of the reason why it does is because he simply communicates. He tells his chasers when and when not to press, and he talks to them on the O. So we see another goal from Matt. Good chemistry with Kieran. So we've noticed that Alex is now on keeping defense, and Kieran has pushed the beating defense really high up. So this is going to force the Mercs to make a shot, and just watch Alex when this happens. After the shot, Alex is going to catch it, and now watch Kieran. Kieran has exchanged bludgers with the opposition, who only have one. So as a result, he's created a no-beater situation. So in that instance, the Merc beater, Alex, I would suggest would throw back instead of making the exchange. Even if Kieran loses the exchange, he knows that he's created a no-beater situation. Whilst this is going on, ESU have driven together, which is great. Alex going for the ball and doing a pass-off when he's being held up. So Matt was able to catch it. Almost lost it because of the one hand, but that's all right. We'll work on that. We want two hands on hoops, but aside from that, all round good D and then transition to O from ESU. So we can learn from that as a beater, you want to do an exchange usually when you're closer to your hoops, because even if you lose, there's a good chance that your team come out on top when you're closer to hoops, when you're going for an exchange. And if you did, good comms from Kieran, able to communicate that to the chasers, and then good passing from Alex, and then one-handed catch from Matt, which I don't recommend. But see, this is an interesting play. Mick has realized that the beat is really far away, and that could have been a viable play. If she just backed off a little bit, Ryan would have come out of keeper zone. She could have beaten that, and then her team could have scored. I think Mick made a really good play. The only reason why it squandered was because she didn't necessarily vocalize it too much. Matt was close by as well. If she just said, Matt, let's do this, she could have beaten the keeper. Matt could have picked up the quaffle, and then it could have been an easy another goal for ESU. So that was a good play from Mick. It's just we got to work on our comms a little bit more, and that could have been another easy goal. So Kieran's again created a no-bludger situation. And the exact same thing happened again. No beaters created from Kieran. Alex makes a big drive. Last pass off to Matt. Matt actually catches it with two hands this time, which is good to see. and ESU have taken the lead. So Mick is really good to come up here. She pressures him. Really good play from Mick. When you have control on D, that's how you use it. Good stuff from Mick. So we're going to see a dismount from Jason, meaning a transition in ball. Now, Ryan Shields from Merc made a smart play not to drive on Who's. You think that'd be obvious, but not always in this game. So we're seeing Kieran has created no beater situation and taking his time to get to the ball. Ryan held it on to the ball as best as he can, drawing the beaters. But ESU are all over him. Good stuff, ESU. They've also created another no beater situation. Let's see if they make a goal. And we see a goal. Alright, G's just gonna drop Ryan, it seems. No beaters situation created by Kelsey. Alex is going to drive. Bree's going to catch. And that's a goal. It's a really good goal. Good drive from Bree. So that was really good from Bree in that when another player from her team drove, she didn't just hang around and do nothing. She drove with her player. So that was really good play from both Alex and Bree, and that was created because Kelsey opened it up. So timeout called by Merc. This is a smart time to call a timeout because the momentum from the opposition is against them. So I don't believe this entire game ESU call a timeout, which isn't necessarily the best strategic play. Because as the game goes on, it's obvious that the players get tired and they really could have profited from a 1 minute break. And that can also be used as a way to slow down the opposition's momentum. So here we're going to learn again why you always catch with two hands, never with one. Better safe than sorry. You watch this Merc player, wing. He's going to catch it with one hand, see what happens. That's alright, buddy. Beginner's luck. So, yep, that's another issue that worked out by all the players eventually, hopefully. Everyone will be trained out of. Just small beginner's errors, but something that everyone needs to work on. Two-hand catches, people. So it looks like a little better communication from the ESU chasers and beaters. This play is going to be a bit messy, unfortunately, but let's see what happens. One-hand catch. Doesn't end up as a catch. So, Harrison's made a drive and goes for a dunk. Loses ball. Good pickup from Merc keeper. Good for him. So as this goes on, we'll see that I believe the current ESU beaters decide to defend Snitch, which is smart. However, you can tell that the Snitch is, one of the best snitches in New South Wales, and the Seekers are all really inexperienced. So I think now in hindsight, the better play from ESU beaters, instead of protecting the snitch, would be to just let the snitch get tired out first, and then go for more of the strategic wall or something like that. But as you can see, both A and B ESU share similar issues in that we have not the best snitch on pitch play, and we aren't the greatest at finishing our dinner near hoops. So something that both the A and B team can work on. So we're seeing that the Merc point makes a really good play with Ryan, and he was able to do that because he got in between the lateral and the ball carrier, which is a pretty advanced point technique. So good for him. Good play. So we saw that ESU got that goal because Matt made a really good draw of the beaters, and then last second pass off, then a ball movement created a goal. So good ball movement from ESU. That's something that ESU consistently did. However, it's finishing their dinner is something that they really needed to work on. Being able to score, do that last 5% is something that ESU needs to be able to fix. That cool under pressure, goal, energy, that's what we're looking for. So, something that club can improve on. At this point, we also see both teams is kind of losing energy a bit. The Chasers D gets a bit sloppier. And you also see the Seekers getting very sapped, hence the long play time. So this is a really, really good beat from Jeff. Got to give them credit. He knew exactly when Matt was going to get the ball, took him out at the right time. From this, ESU pick up control, and they were able to get the ball back. But you have to admit, really good play from Jeff. Another really good beat at Jeff. Another really good beat from Jeff at Matt. So we're going to see so watch Bree as she runs. Oh, no. I was going to comment that Bree makes a really good intercept, but I must have missed it. It must have happened a minute ago. Oh, well. So there's a really good call from the Merc player He, saw that the beaters had created an opportunity and he communicated that to his team. So that's a really good example of comms from Merc. So good for them. So, as we talked about earlier, it's clear that both teams' seekers are really tired really early on. So, ESU could have really used that timeout when they have the opportunity. Also, their beaters can be creating a beater wall right now, but it seems like they're deciding to prioritize quaffle play, which could also be another strat. It's also interesting to see that Merc both have 2 state-level seekers on their team, yet they're still waiting. It's 31 minutes, which could be, at least 5 minutes of game time, and they're up, and they're still not decided to put their state-level seekers on, which is interesting to see, at the very least. To be fair, they're both playing as well, so they could be going for a quaffle play. Good shot from Ryan. So we've gotten to a stage in the game now where ESU have kind of run out of steam. Say what you will, but that's something that the team can work on. Long-term play. Good block from Matt, which ended up in a goal. So Ryan's going to make a drive. Let's see if... Nope. Good goal from Ryan. So you can really tell the difference between a newbie driving and an experienced player driving. An experienced player, Ryan didn't do it with a partner, which I would recommend doing, but he, looked up, figured out, hey, look, the beaters are distracted. Let's see if I can get a goal out of this. And he knew as the keeper, as soon as he picked it up, he could go. So, yeah, something that, driving is a very interesting subject of this game. So really, good stuff from the ESU point. Really getting in the face of the opposition, not giving away his hand or overplaying his position by overcommitting to a tackle or whatever, but really getting in the face of his opposition, which is what you want from a point. Good stuff from Kieran, protecting quaffle players. Oh, what a great beat from Kieran. Stopped the goal. Taking a little rest. Goal to Harrison. Learning a little bit from his previous drives. Had a close call with a beater that I'm pretty sure he didn't even see coming, but, Good for him. So now we see that the snitch is A, very disadvantaged by the handicaps, and B, very, very tired. So now is a really good opportunity for ESU, even though they're in range, now that they're in range and have control, I believe, to do a wall. Especially when their ball is on offense. So good block from Alex yet again. Kieran wants to be focusing on their beers. He's just going to focus on Quaffle. As a result, it's been a turnover of control. Which is a shame, but I mean, Kieran's been killing it this game, so it's acceptable. Matt's, really good idea to slow down a drive early by getting in the face of the offense. Good defense from ESU, stopping a cocky shot, and then Kelsey taking out the attacker. So catch to Merc, I believe. Good stuff. Good game. So stuff that both teams can learn from: two-hand catches, communicating with the beaters. Both teams could have talked way more with their beaters on offense. When both teams were presented with really good drive opportunities, it was when their beaters communicated with them. And something else they can do is contact, more in ESU's way early in the game. And then also long-term play, when that snitch was out for a really long time. Thanks for watching.